Mubasher, in a time when the US and China are trying to resolve their trade tit-for-tat disputes, several major companies on both sides have been and are being used as bargaining chips as the months-long political situation in Washington continues to complicate talks between the world's two largest economies. The fate of China's phone maker ZTE is one of several caught up in the debate. U.S. President Donald Trump recently said he was willing to ease penalties on the telecom giant. This, however, has irked a large number of U.S. senators who are wary of China's trade practices. On Friday, the Commerce Department submitted outlines of the initial agreement over the ZTE issue, which was followed later in the day by the U.S. President's tweet saying the case was reopened, with high-level security guarantees, management changes, more purchases of U.S. parts, and a fine of $1.3 billion. No provision in the initial deal addressed the fact that ZTE presents a national security threat. Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen tweeted back on Saturday, adding that Congress will act on a bipartisan basis if the deal is not to be treated as priority. Meanwhile, US-based chip manufacturer Qualcomm's $44 billion purchase of Dutch NPX Semiconductors is pending Chinese regulatory approval, as regulators were reluctant to proceed with the approval on the back of the growing trade tensions with the US. However, an approval of the transaction is probable since Chinese authorities endorsed the sale of Toshiba's chip manufacturing division to a group of investors led by Boston-based Bain Capital, in addition to weekend media reports of some movement in regulatory approval. While the two countries agreed to delay their tens of billions of dollars in tariff threats, in addition to China's promise to increase its purchases of U.S. goods and services, Asia's largest economy has not yet proceeded with the undertaking of its commitment. Moreover, Washington's demands that China stops forcing U.S. companies to hand over intellectual property and its efforts to subsidize high-technological businesses pose a major challenge, with analysts expressing doubts that Beijing would yield to such demands.